I'm starting my skin off with the Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer. This primer is great for filling in large pores and fine lines, and it creates a super smooth base for foundation. Then for foundation, I'm using the Revlon ColorStay for combination oily skin in the shade Buff. And I'm applying this with a Real Techniques damp beauty sponge in a pouncing motion. This is my favorite way to apply foundation because it provides really good coverage, which is what I want to cover at my redness, and a very natural finish. It doesn't leave any streaks or patchiness like brushes can do sometimes. Next, for concealer, I'm using the Makeup Forever Full Coverage Concealer in the shade number 1. I apply this concealer in a triangle beneath each eye on my eyelids to conceal any veins or redness and to prime my eyelids for shadow, between my eyebrows, down the bridge of my nose, and a little bit on my cupid's bow and chin. To blend out my concealer, I'm using that same Real Techniques beauty sponge that I used to blend my foundation. To lock all of these liquid products in place, I'm using the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder with my Beauty Blender and an Ecotools powder brush to press this powder into my skin and then blend away the excess. As you can see in the video, I apply extra powder on top of where I put the concealer just to ensure that it doesn't crease or slide around. To add some warmth back into the skin, I'm using Hoola Bronzer by Benefit with the little turquoise brush that came with this bronzer and a Morphe M439 brush. I apply the bronzer to the hollows of my cheeks, along my hairline, and a little bit beneath my chin because the darker color helps these areas recede. The result is a slimmer face, higher cheekbones, and a smaller forehead. For a flush of pink on the cheeks, I'm using this bright pink blush from Smashbox with a Hana K brush. It wouldn't be a glam look without a strong highlight, so I'm using the Becca Cosmetics Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Champagne Pop with a Morphe 501 brush. I'm applying this on the tops of my cheekbones, a little bit on the apples of my cheeks so that when I smile it catches the light, on the bridge of my nose, on the tip of my nose, and with the extra I apply a little bit on my cupid's bow. Time for a magic trick. Ready? Ta-da! Brows are done. For the eyeshadow look, I'm using the Smashbox Full Exposure Palette, and I'm using a fun trick to create a sharp edge. Anything with a straight edge will work for this, but I'm using the edge of my concealer tube, and I want to line it up so that it starts at the end of my eye and goes toward the tail of my brow. With a Morphe M332 brush, I'm blending the light and medium gray shades from the Full Exposure palette into the outer corner of my eye and into the crease. Now for the black. I'm someone who doesn't normally wear black eyeshadow because I think it's a little bit too harsh on my fair skin, but this is a very subtle and pretty way to wear black. So lining up that straight edge again, I'm taking the black shade from the Full Exposure palette on a Morphe G18 brush, and I'm packing it into the outer corner. Then I go back in with the Morphe M332 brush and blend it out. Using this technique, eyeliner is super easy to do, so I'm using the Maybelline Eyestudio Gel Liner in black on a MAC 208 brush, and I'm tracing right along the edge to create a perfect winged liner. For the lower lash line, I'm using whatever leftover gel liner is on that MAC 208, and I'm lining right along my lash line. Then, to smoke this out, I'm taking a Morphe pencil brush with the medium gray shade from the Full Exposure palette, and I'm blending the liner out. Then, to me, the look wasn't smoky enough, so I added a little bit of pencil black liner in my tight line and waterline. This one is by Too Faced. Lashes are the final step to finishing the eyes, so I'm starting by curling my natural lashes and coating them with mascara. This is the L'Oreal Voluminous Butterfly Wings Mascara, but really any black mascara will do because we're just trying to make the lashes look black before applying false ones. While the mascara dries, I'm going to apply the classic red lips. I'm starting by lining my lips with MAC lip liner in the shade Whirl. Most people would probably use a red lip liner in this situation, but I think a natural shade is more forgiving with red lips if you're a beginner, so I thought I would show that. After lining, I'm applying the Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipstick in the shade Outlaw. This is a classic brick red.
Castle in the sun, the when it comes down, it comes tumbling to the ground when she speaks. It's a dangerous fantasy, sets me free. It's where I wanna be. She sets me free. It's where I wanna be. She sets me free.
To finish off the look, I used House of Lashes Iconic Lash. This is a perfect false eyelash for this look because it is more heavy and full in the outer corner, just like this eyeshadow look. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week with another video.